Imagine being trapped on a ship for 2 weeks in complete darkness, throwing millions of dollars worth of cargo overboard just to stay alive. That's exactly what happened in one of history's most dramatic shipwrecks.
The scale of this disaster is mind blowing. We're talking about a massive grain freighter with 276 people aboard, facing one of the deadliest storms in Mediterranean history.
You know what's fascinating about this whole situation? The ship was about 140 feet long. That's half a football field. And yet it was completely at the mercy of this legendary storm called Euroclydon.
Well, what really gets me is how this prisoner, Paul, ends up becoming the moral leader of the entire vessel. How does that even happen?
So here's the thing. Paul had already survived 3 shipwrecks and traveled over 3,500 miles by sea. When they first stopped at Sidon, the Roman centurion Julius actually gave him special privileges, which was completely unusual for a prisoner,
Hmm, that's really interesting. The text mentions he wasn't like the other prisoners who were headed for execution in Rome's arena.
right? And then we get to this crucial moment where Paul warns them not to continue the voyage. I mean, imagine a prisoner telling experienced sailors and the ship's owner, hey, this is going to end in disaster.
And of course, they completely ignored him. They even took a vote thinking they could make it just 40 more miles to a better harbor.
Well, that decision came back to haunt them pretty quickly. The moment they set sail, they got caught in this massive storm that lasted, get this, 14 days without seeing sun or stars. They were literally flying blind.
The desperate measures they took are just incredible. First, undergirding the ship with cables, then throwing cargo overboard, and finally dumping their equipment into the sea.
You know what's really fascinating? The economic impact of this journey was astronomical. We're talking about a major grain shipment from Egypt to Rome. This would be worth millions in today's currency.
And then there's that amazing moment when Paul basically hosts a Thanksgiving dinner in the middle of a shipwreck right after getting a vision that everyone would survive.
That's exactly right. But here's what people often miss. Paul had been actively praying for everyone on board. The angel specifically told him that God had granted him all those sailing with him. Even as a prisoner, he was interceding for his captors.
The level of detail in this account is remarkable. From the specific depth soundings they took to the description of how they tried to run the ship aground.
And then we get to this incredibly tense moment near the end. The soldiers want to kill all the prisoners to prevent their escape. It's like something out of a thriller, but the centurion stops them because he wants to save Paul.
So, what you're saying is that this prisoner, who they initially ignored, ended up saving everyone's lives multiple times.
Precisely. And here's what makes this account even more compelling. It's written by Luke, who was actually there experiencing all of this firsthand. He uses we throughout the narrative. So we're getting an eyewitness account.
The way this story resonates with modern leadership principles is fascinating. It shows how true influence isn't about position or title, but about character and wisdom.
And that's really the heart of this whole account. Sometimes our worst disasters can lead to unexpected salvation, and leadership often emerges from the most unlikely places. In the end, every single one of those 276 people made it to shore safely.
Well, it really puts our modern problems in perspective, doesn't it? Sometimes you have to let go of everything material to save what's truly important.
Exactly. And you know what? This story still teaches us something profound about crisis management and leadership. When everything is falling apart, sometimes the person with the most wisdom isn't the one with the most authority, but the one with the most faith and character.